I am Sam Olson. I was born and raised in Elgin, Illinois. I'm the youngest of 7 boys. I love anything that has to do with media. My story starts about 3 years ago. I was just barely a teen and loved taking pictures. I took pictures of everything and anything. I also started learning about Elgin, my hometown. I was fascinated. Elgin has so much history, culture, and art, and I was about to learn all about it. When I researched the watch factory, old downtown, and my neighborhood, I couldn't believe what seemed like just another town actually has so much history. During that time of which I was in middle school, I began to write short stories. A lot of them had a storyline of a boy and his father living in a small town. I guess you could say the inspiration came from what I learned about Elgin. Never finishing a single one, my English teachers loved them. Also at that time, I wasn't sure what I wanted to do with my life. When I was way younger, I wanted to be a lawyer, a restaurant owner, a chef, and a list of others. As any child, I was just enjoying my life as it was. In early 2012, I began an internet radio show called JF Radio. I had no idea what I was doing. I originally made it as I, along with many others in a youth group I attended, wanted to share God's Word through all of our favorite Christian music. So one night, a Monday night to be exact, I created JF Radio on Spreaker.com. JF, short for Jesus Freak, was what really began everything that got me into media today. The show was pretty bad, a very low quality microphone and a beginner at it all made up the show. But still, people listened. I hosted the show up until about 8 months ago. I decided I didn't want to continue it as for a while my faith kind of disappeared after I left the church I had attended for many years. But it wasn't the only show I did at the time. I hosted a mixed music show of which I continued. Music, though, is a big part of my life. I play clarinet in the EHS band, and I also listen to it pretty much everywhere I go. Both my parents are music lovers, and it's clear where I got the gene and love for all kinds of music. Also, about a year ago, I made my first video on YouTube, Remembering Elgin, a video of a collection of pictures of Elgin in the early 1900s to the present time. It got just over 1,000 views, most of which came from people that lived in Elgin for years. Video creations and online radio. Thus, my media hobby began. Now as a student in high school, I'm able to expand my knowledge of media through classes available. Since my first radio show, I have learned and practiced more about online radio and video creation. I have started a website, made many more YouTube videos, and even made a commitment to honor veterans of Elgin through a special project video series. I also have a series of which I show my favorite locations in Elgin called the Elgin Video Tour. And yes, I have learned so much more about Elgin. Every time I go through downtown, certain neighborhoods, or see an article from the 1900s, I get inspired to create more videos of the town I began to enjoy. Most of my friends don't know a thing about Elgin, so just making a simple video about it is enough for me. The Art Deco, parks, houses, river, everything just makes for a complete historical town. What I have learned about Elgin and media is far from everything. I plan to make videos forever, as long as I can as a hobby, but I want to pursue radio as a career. As for right now, Columbia College in Chicago is the place I want to study at. I want to live in Chicago for at least a couple years and then move to Texas or live up in the mountains of Tennessee. I also want to travel around the US and parts of the world and live the life God set out for me. I have many plans for the rest of my life, but for right now, I'm just going to work on finishing high school. That's my story. What's yours?